Coming up on Unpeeled, the Star Wars ticket launch goes off with a bang.
And a new law could affect entertainment journalists in California.
Meghan Markle speaks out against inaccurate reporting.
And we talk to the people behind Rocky Horror Picture Show here in Syracuse.
All that and more is coming up on Unpeeled.
Welcome to another episode of Unpeeled. I'm Landon Wexler.
And I'm Kerri McAneney. First things first, happy belated birthday, Landon.
That's cool. All right, it's been a couple days, but I appreciate it regardless.
No problem. We begin with some breaking news tonight with new details on the college admissions scandal. Lori Loughlin and her husband, along with 9 other parents, are facing an additional bribery charge for their part in the 2019 college admissions scandal. 7 coaches and test administrators who have not pleaded guilty to conspiracy will also face new charges.
And this comes as Felicity Huffman, the actress, is on the tail end of her 14-day sentence after pleading guilty to paying to have her daughter's SAT scores boosted. Currently, no other arraignment dates have been scheduled, but we will keep you updated with the latest on Unpeeled as the case develops. And while Houston Astros began their quest for another World Series title on Tuesday, some within the organization are making headlines for less than favorable reasons. Assistant General Manager Brandon Taubman has come under fire for explosive outbursts, praising pitcher Roberto Osuna, who last year received a 75-game suspension for violating the MLB's domestic violence policy.
Taubman's outburst, which came after Osuna blew a save in the 9th inning, seemed like it was directed towards 3 female reporters. This behavior highlights the Astros' questionable roster picks and moral responsibility as they take the field on baseball's biggest stage.
All right, so it seems like we've got to break this down a little bit, Kerri. So this is a classic case of needing to know your audience, right?
Yes, definitely.
Regardless of what his intentions were when he said, you know what, Osuna, we're so happy to have picked you up onto the team, you got to understand that with that, there must have been a reason for that 75-game suspension. That was domestic violence. So the idea is that people are saying that because 3 female reporters were in the audience, basically in that little general vicinity, he was directing it toward those female reporters. Like, yes, thank God we have them, but it's poor taste, I would say.
I definitely agree with that. It's also just showing how people aren't putting up with bullies anymore. It's just the same old story, just in a different ballgame, if you might say that.
You know, that was a really clever little tie-in there, Kerri. But that it seems like, as a whole, Houston needs to get a better PR team after NBA with the issues with the Rockets, with China, and with the Houston Astros. You know what? Newhouse has some PR people they could probably pick up. So
they'll definitely call.
Absolutely.
Elsewhere, the executive behind Sons of Anarchy and its spin-off Mayans has been fired from FX. Kurt Sutter is out of the job after multiple complaints of disruptive behavior. In a statement, Sutter himself says his actions have made him an abrasive presence that has caused damage.
And no details have been released about why exactly Sutter was fired, but he went on to admit that he was arrogant on set and created a chronic distraction. The writer and producer renewed his deal with Fox in January of 2018, and I think it's important to note that the deal that I just mentioned is not, no matter what happened with the controversy, that deal is still in effect.
Yes. Well, no matter what you think, it's at least they're sticking to their guns on that one.
Right.
But this is just another example. Like I said before, people are not putting up with bullies anymore, and this is just another case of that.
Right. I think it's appropriate. I think it's great that the industry isn't putting up with that, and I think it's becoming it's like a bigger and bigger snowball. It seems like no one's putting up with it. But on top of it, I do want to give a little bit of credit to Sutter. He said to himself, quote, like, I think that it's time for a white man to leave the building. You know, regardless of what was said, what was done, that means that he's very aware of what's happening. He understands that he was arrogant. And I think that it's important to understand that. I think he's leaving with a good example in mind.
Yeah, it's refreshing to see that sort of self-awareness these days, especially amidst all the people. Like, you got Harvey Weinstein, and you have all those people who just aren't accepting responsibility for their actions.
Absolutely. And while actors, directors, and executives rake in large salaries every year, many of the assistants that help Hollywood run believe that they have been underpaid for years. Now, those same assistants are speaking out through the hashtag #PayUpHollywood movement on social media.
Pay Up Hollywood is a major force in helping writers' assistants and script supervisors unionize. Organizers are pushing for better salaries and health care benefits. Through their request to organize under the Writers Guild of America was denied. Additionally, the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers also turned down a joint labor management training program proposed by the WGA. This just seems like a huge, complex mess.
Right.
Landon.
Hollywood is going through a lot right now with the WGA in general, with we're going to talk about this a little later in the show, but a new bill that's going to be, a new law that's going to be passed to make writing a little more difficult. It could be. But Hollywood's going through a lot. And with many of these writers having to go through, they're trying to union, with a lot of these assistants trying to unionize, I think the efforts are there, but they're having to pay union dues on top of their already relatively small salaries, which isn't looking too good.
No, it's not too good, especially when that's a stepping stone. Just to play devil's advocate,
right.
These people who are like working their way up in the industry, they have to go through some challenges, some tribulations, but they also, I feel like they should be paid a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
And I think it's easy to say from the outside, but studios, I'd say as a whole, are probably looking at this like this is a stepping stone toward a bigger job. Why not put in your dues now?
Exactly.
Makes it very complex. But assistants, a lot of the time, those jobs, you have those for years, many, many years. So I think it's important that Hollywood acknowledges they should get a little fair pay.
Definitely. And in a galaxy far, far away, Disney is starting its marketing push for another trip through the stars. The final trailer for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker was released to critical acclaim during this week's broadcast of Monday Night Football. Honestly, the only thing I'm watching. After the trailer ended, online ticket sales for the film immediately opened up.
And AMC is also hosting special marathons for the final installment of the Skywalker saga. The theater chain is hosting a 27-hour and 21-minute marathon of all 8 main saga films, ending with an early premiere of the episode 9. The lengthy time, however, does not count for possible breaks. Holy moly. You know, one thing we gotta take in is that AMC is finding a good way to get these audience members in the chairs. They just released their streaming service, but it's important that they're getting people to go back in the chairs.
Definitely. I feel like they're finally embracing what they were initially, which was a organization that's trying to bring together and sort of cement that initial experience that movie watching was supposed to be.
Right. Now, they may need some new seats after those people sit in those chairs for 27 hours. Kerri, are you going to this?
I would go. They did say that there were some possible breaks. I would get some popcorn, maybe go for a potty break. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Coming up is the entertainment media industry leaving Los Angeles. It's a good question, isn't it?
Yes. Our industry reporter is in studio to explain a new law that may change the city of stars. Don't go anywhere.
All right. They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Lawmakers in California are under fire this week for signing a controversial bill that threatens the career of freelance writers. Titled Assembly Bill 5 is set to limit freelance writers to 35 paid articles per year in an effort to force businesses to hire more full-time employees. With many writers pushing back against the bill, we go now to our industry reporter Liam Crowley to break down its pros and cons. Liam?
Thanks, Kerri. California has always been a destination for dreamers in the entertainment industry, but that all just might be about to change. California Governor Gavin Newsom recently signed Assembly Bill 5, commonly referred to as AB 5. Now, AB 5 has a positive goal on paper. encourage companies to hire employees full-time rather than classify them as independent contractors. This ranges from companies like Uber and Lyft to newsrooms that utilize freelance journalists. Now, these workers would get all the benefits employees receive, such as healthcare subsidies, paid parental leave, and guaranteed hourly wage. So why the backlash? Many freelance journalists fear that AB5's goal is going to backfire, as they expect news outlets to cut back on freelance assignments regardless because they can't afford to hire freelancers full-time. And it goes beyond potential unemployment. Some freelancers prefer the freedom and flexibility of their schedules and would rather work on and off for multiple publications than be contractually obligated to one. Time will tell what AB5's effect has on the Golden State, but one thing's for certain, La La Land will never be the same.
No, it definitely doesn't seem like it's going to be the same. La La Land is, of course, just a business at the end of the day. Now, of course, this is going to affect a lot of jobs. A lot of companies are not, like you mentioned, they may not be able to afford having full-time workers. There must be backlash. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so there's one guy in particular, Yashar Ali. He writes for the Huffington Post, and he outburst on Twitter. He said, and I quote, California Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez, who had a pivotal role in signing this bill, has launched a direct attack on press freedoms with her bill. I'd say she should be ashamed of herself, but knowing her, shame is not a sensation she's familiar with. So he was irate about this, and rightfully so. It's threatening his work. Gonzalez actually shot back, saying that LA Times has hired about 30 of its independent contractors who were previously freelancers as full-time employees, and she even said that the 35 count limit, which is the limit of how many freelance submissions freelance journalists can have per news outlet they work for, is now showing that Sports Illustrated, who laid off 40 staff journalists with benefits to replace them with 200 contractors. So the goal as a whole is positive. It's just the fine details that are going to be negative overall.
Mm-hmm. So quickly, Liam, do you see any potential for middle ground at all?
I mean, it's tough. You're going to have people obviously have some backfire, and it just depends on how long it goes for. If it's short for like a week, you're not going to really see any change. If it lasts for up to a month, maybe 2 months, you're going to see some real change in Hollywood.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Liam. I really appreciate it. And a major shakeup is coming to the Las Vegas Intersect Music Festival as DJ The Black Madonna has pulled out of her performance. The decision comes after learning of the concert's connection to the Amazon Web Services. In a statement, Black Madonna said that she's disapproved of Amazon's business's connection to ICE, immigration, Customs Enforcement, and Homeland Security, and is profoundly disappointed. Unpeeled's music reporter Patrick Gunn joins us now for more of this surprising decision. Pat, tell us about it, my friend.
Well, there's one big issue with this whole story, and is that she just feels like she was being lied to. She said that in her contract negotiations with the Las Vegas Intersect Festival that there was no mention at all to Amazon being in the festival. Now, a spokesperson for Amazon did say that they were mentioned 5 times in their contract, but after going through, Black Madonna posted a tweet online that showed the statement, and there was nothing of that except for the small URL with the letters AWS, which is really kind of hard to tell what that would mean. And so other people, a document obtained by Rolling Stone, agreed with that sentiment that there really wasn't any sort of reference. So she was just upset with the dishonesty about the whole festival.
Right. Seems like it.
Definitely. Yeah. So have any other artists pulled out of the festival or spoken out against it at all?
Well, there have no other artists have pulled out, but there was one artist who did speak about that would be Japanese Breakfast. They also in a Twitter thread basically talked about how this is a really complicated issue. She is not really in a position where she can walk out of a festival like that, but she said it's complicated because Amazon is so involved with marketing and distribution and a lot of other companies. And she even mentioned the popular show Fleabag and how that's being pushed all over the place. Everyone loves the show. So Amazon's a difficult issue to really get. This is really a difficult issue overall.
Right. To think about how much the music industry is affected by these political issues, you know, it's a lot to take in for sure.
Definitely. After the break, Meghan Markle has faced challenge after challenge dealing with the British press.
We discuss her strength and also preview the newest NBA season. We'll be right back.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. that no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
A new documentary detailing Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's recent 10-day South African trip premiered on Britain's ITV on Sunday. In a recent interview, the couple spoke about how harsh the tabloids have been during their first year of marriage. Unpeeled's pop culture reporter Katie Lane breaks down the struggles the couple has faced with the press. Katie?
Thank you, Kerri. The documentary Harry and Meghan: An African Journey was intended to follow the royal tour through southern Africa, highlighting the charitable causes Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan are passionate about. The couple says they hoped the tour would turn the media's interest in them as a couple into a positive force for change. However, the film ended up uncovering the couple's deeply rooted struggles with the press. In the past, Markle faced harsh criticism about her heritage, family, appearance, and personality. Now Markle has been even under more scrutiny since the birth of their son, Archie. Some media outlets are upset with how private the couple kept the birth, and certain tabloids are even going after Markle's post-baby body. They are comparing her to Kate Middleton, saying Markle isn't losing the weight as fast as Middleton had. Markle says these invasive practices are causing a great amount of stress in her current condition.
Look, any woman, especially when they're pregnant, you're really vulnerable, and so that was made really challenging. And then when you have a newborn,
It's a long time ago, but I remember, yeah.
And especially as a woman, it's a lot. So you add this on top of just trying to be a new mom or trying to be a newlywed. It's, I guess, and also thank you for asking, because not many people have asked if I'm okay.
In a series of interviews, Meghan said adjusting to life in the royal family and the media attention that comes with it has been very difficult. She added that she was unprepared for the tabloid media attention she would be subjected to, despite warnings from her British friends when she first started dating Harry.
Wow.
That's really a shame, honestly.
For sure. To be compared, because Kate lost weight faster, that means that Meghan needs to too. That's an odd comparison.
They're completely different people.
Yes,
Exactly.
Women are held to certain standards like other women. But what have Harry and Meghan done about the breach of privacy that they faced in the press? I know there's been a lot of concerns about privacy lately.
Yes, so they actually announced a lawsuit against the Daily Mail's parent company, and because they published a private letter that Markle wrote earlier this year. According to the law firm that represents them, they filed a claim against Associated Papers for the misuse of private information, infringement of copyright, and breach of the United Kingdom's Data Protection Act from 2018. So lots of going against laws there, but Harry also made a statement against the British tabloids saying that they, quote, had a ruthless campaign against his wife. And I know this is also bringing up a lot of memories for him with what happened with his mom, Princess Diana. She died because of trying to escape the paparazzi in 1997.
Yeah, it's really a shame.
It really
I know
is.
Harry's really concerned about not repeating the same things that happened with his mother.
Right.
But thank you, Katie.
And a perfect example of why media should be done responsibly. Thank you so much, Katie. And with Major League Baseball closing out its season this week, sports fans are already beginning to turn their attention to the NBA. After a wild offseason filled with surprising free agent signings and exciting new draft picks, the first real games were played Tuesday night. Tipped off by defending champion Toronto Raptors. Here to tell us everything we need to know for the upcoming season is Unpeeled sports reporter Mason Horodisky. Mason, holy moly, man, one heck of a season to look forward to, huh?
Oh, super excited. And it all kicked off last night. Obviously, the first game of the season was the Battle of Los Angeles between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Los Angeles Clippers. And what a game that was. My goodness. I mean, you saw the Staples Center last night was loud. It felt like a playoff game in there as the two biggest splashes this offseason in Anthony Davis on the Lakers and the reigning finals MVP, Kawhi Leonard, over on the Clippers, duked it out. Clips would take this one 112-102. So as for now in Los Angeles, there's only one thing left to say. What it do, baby?
That's phenomenal. There we go. There was a funny clip between Arnold Schwarzenegger and Kawhi. That was
great
really
commercial.
Very,
I didn't see it.
Oh, gosh,
but a lot of people were looking forward to watching Zeeon Williamson on opening night, but he didn't play. What exactly happened with him?
Don't disrespect. Zion.
Zion.
Zion. But still,
do I look like I know sports?
Yeah, no, on the other
take
side
it
of
away.
hoops action last night, you saw the New Orleans Pelicans square off with the defending NBA champion Toronto Raptors. Obviously missing was Zion Williamson in that he is out at least 6 to 8 weeks with a meniscus injury, and that's a shame. I couldn't help but think back to another highly touted Duke prospect who had his career ridden with injuries, of course, Grant Hill, who's still probably one of the biggest what-if stories in NBA history. Got to stay optimistic, though, with Zion. As we all know, he is a superhuman. This guy ran through his own shoe for crying out loud in the Duke game last year. So if anyone can quite literally bounce back from anything, it's Zion Williamson.
Right. I don't want to give too much credit to Duke. They're our rival after all, but yes, they're producing some pretty quality athletes. Now, Mason, word around town is you're quite the hot topic or hot take guy.
Oh, yeah.
I know you're going to be that for quite some time. What's your hot take here? What's your bold take for the upcoming season?
Well, Landon, I mean, you know me more than anybody. I don't give predictions. I give spoilers.
Of course.
So my spoiler for this upcoming NBA season will be that Steph Curry is going to run away with the MVP this year. Not only is he going to not be playing second fiddle to Kevin Durant on the Warriors anymore, as he is over in Brooklyn, but Steve Kerr came out yesterday and said that Klay Thompson will most likely not return this season. That means for arguably the first time in his career, this will be an all-Steph offense. And I'm going to double down on this take. Steph Curry is going to do it by averaging at least 35 points a game. Lock it up.
Bet. All right, fantastic.
Lock it up, throw away the key.
Quickly, champions or not champions?
Champions or not champions?
Golden State, quick.
I'm going to have to go with the Clippers, actually. They looked too good last night for me.
All right, well, we're looking forward to seeing Steph get some action going.
Yeah, something else we're looking forward to. We're so excited. After the break, the Rocky Horror Picture Show comes to Syracuse.
We'll sit down with the people who made it possible next on Unpeeled.
Come on, it's not that hard.
My big man fingers are having a problem with these little tiny buttons.
Whoa, watch it there. Your blood pressure's gonna go through the roof.
Tell me about it. I'm trying to learn how to get it down. Instead, it keeps going up.
High blood pressure can increase the risk for heart attack or stroke. Learn how to keep yours at a healthy range.
Ever hear a voice command? Just say text barbershop to 97779.
That's not what I said.
Just give me that. Now my blood pressure's up.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Black Box Players, a student-run organization open to all Syracuse University students, hosts an annual performance of the iconic Rocky Horror Picture Show every Halloween night.
Here to give us a glimpse of what is in store for next week is the producer Amelia Smart Denson and the president Kat Eaton. Thank you so much for being with us, guys. We really appreciate it. I know a lot to look forward to. So with this organization, with Black Box, with the Rocky Horror Picture Show, what kind of success are you guys seeing each year?
Rocky Horror Picture Show is one of our most successful events. This is our third year doing the Rocky Horror Picture Show. We have sold out the past 2 years, and we fully expect to sell out this year. So, get your tickets quickly. It's a ton of fun and just brings together a lot of people for an awesome night to celebrate Halloween.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like an awesome night. So why'd you start this tradition of performing the show every single year? It sounds like a cool thing.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, Black Box board member now graduated. His name's Caleb Gruchalski. Brought it forward as first because he loves Rocky Horror. I love Rocky Horror. I mean, everyone loves Rocky Horror.
It's a cult following. Everyone loves
such
it.
a cult following. Everyone loves it. A lot of people have seen it already. Anyway, so Caleb brought it forth as also kind of a way of connecting with the Hill, because we're always so much on the stage. A lot of our events are down at the stage. So we thought, if we're going to come to the Hill, might as well do it with a raunchy, loud night of songs and dancing and
That's one way to
burlesque.
get college kids into it.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh my gosh! So now you guys are this is being performed at Sky Barn, correct?
Yeah,
Sky Barn.
Yeah.
That is the barn on South Campus.
Yes.
Not the incomplete. Okay, but okay, understood.
Yes, you hop off the bus at the first bus stop on South, and it's the big red barn.
Oh, easy to find.
Very easy to find. Now, one of the things you guys are advertising, the prop bags. What do we have to look forward to there? Don't.
I'm so nervous.
We're journalists. We're gonna find.
Yeah, we need to know. We need to know.
So, prop bags will be available for purchase. They're a couple bucks, but they have everything you'll need for the night out. They're filled with items that you will need during the show, and you can come and find out what's in them.
If you can't give us like a little bit of a sneak peek, like give us a hint.
One
person, place, or thing.
Oh gosh.
I bet it's a thing.
Is it mineral, an animal?
Party hats.
Fantastic.
Is one thing.
That's
Fantastic.
good. So yeah, definitely. So as someone who has seen this a few times, it's a pretty odd show with a lot of wild elements and, like you said, some raunchy themes. Like Landon, you gotta make sure you bring your parents because it's not suitable for kids. So how did you guys go about making this happen?
So I think the first year we did it, we were not sure how the university was gonna, how the student activities was gonna respond to some of the themes, some of the content. Right. But we sort of went for it, and it's changed every year depending on the director, kind of like how far we go in every direction. But I would say, last year there was a topless moment.
Oh my!
Cover
your eyes.
Yeah. There was a fully consensual cast member kissing the audience moment.
Okay.
And we checked in with our advisor in student activities afterwards, and we said, "How did you feel about that?" And she said, "We're not going to censor you. Go for it." So we check in with the cast, we see what they're comfortable with, and then we go for it and we have some fun.
That sounds like a phenomenal night. It's a phenomenal time. Now, like I said, like we've talked about, Rocky Horror Picture Show is a cult following. There's thousands of renditions across the country yearly, that kind of thing. So what are you guys bringing to the table that's going to get everyone into it, besides just having college-like things?
Well, I mean, we did try to make it like kind of a traditional Rocky Horror, in the sense that people who have seen Rocky Horror before won't be surprised when they come to Rocky. Like, it is that Rocky we all know and love, with the shadow cast and the jokes and everything like that. But we did bring in, we had people bring special skills to the auditions. So especially with the choreo this time around, it's a huge spectacle. So yeah.
Question for you, Kat. You mentioned the shadow cast. From an uncultured theater person like myself.
For Landon.
Specifically for me, what is a shadow cast?
So a shadow cast is a cast of people that are performing in front of the movie screening. So they're mimicking the movements in front of the characters, and they're adding in some immersive with the audience moments, some jokes outside of the movie. And it's a way of kind of bringing the movie out of just being 2D and bringing it into the audience,
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts about these sort of shows, making it so interactive.
For sure.
But for people who maybe aren't students, is it open to the public or is it just for students?
It's open to the public, but you have to get your tickets in person at the Women's Building. But if you're a student, you can get them online.
Wow, that's pretty big. It's pretty awesome. Prop bags, miming. I'm into it. I think that sounds like a really good time. We'll be spending our Halloween there.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Amelia and Kat. That's all the time we have for you today, but be sure to follow us on Twitter at CitrusTV. I'm Kerri McAneney.
And I'm Landon Wexler. We'll be back next week with even more entertainment news. Till then, stay zesty, Unpeelers.